I'm Maria, and I'm going to give a speech, a refutation speech on Greek life will have a significant positive effect on college studies. The common thing we see on most college campuses today are fraternities and sororities. These organizations are sanctioned by the college they belong to and are allowed to recruit members using the college help. Many of them have national status, and others are smaller. Basically, they are organizations of people who group together for social or charitable reasons. Joining a fraternity or sorority is a vital part of many students' college experience, but it's not for everyone. My main claim is the following. Greek organizations will have a significant negative effect on your college studies. My secondary claims are: 1. Greek organizations will help you network for a pricey fee and for the exchange of hundreds of hours of your time away from school. Second, although Greek life has GPA limitations, lower grades are a result of non-school related activities, which will cause expulsion from the fraternity or sorority. And finally, third, Greek life does not make leaders, but instead creates hierarchies. One of the advocates' secondary claim was that Greek life would help you network and be more social. My response to that is that it will help you do those things, but for a pricey fee and for the exchange of hundreds of hours of your time away from school. Dues are the fees that Greek communities charge to be part of them. Dues may be somewhat discriminatory to people who cannot afford to pay these fees who would like to join the Greek system. Along with initiation fees, dues, and room and board, there can be an awful lot of incidental expenses for things like social events and formal attire. Expenses do vary quite a bit at different schools and in different chapters. So if you're concerned about money, Greek life might not be for you. Greek life takes up a great deal of time unless you're disciplined and can balance your studies with all the socializing of Greek life. You shouldn't go Greek. Even stated by the advocate. Being Greek means you must balance school, social functions, community service, and many other activities that can be time-consuming. Remember that you're in college to get an education. Although Greek life has GPA limitations, lower grades are a result of non-school related activities, which may then be a result of the expulsion from the sorority or fraternity. Coming from personal experience, I have noticed that people around me who participate in Greek life have a harder time trying to manage a day's load of work and are more easily stressed out. Another of the advocates' secondary claim is that Greek life makes you a leader. All the parties, the drinking, the drugs that are frequently associated with Greek life is not all false. Venice Katura, a freelancer writer, states, "I may be prejudiced as I've seen what it's done to those I love. It was here that the young people I knew started drinking and discovered they couldn't handle alcohol. This led to more than one DUI and all the heartache associated with it." She continues, "I had a friend who lost her son. Tragically, he choked to death when he fell and broke his neck after getting drunk at his fraternity's birthday party." According to Webster's dictionary, is a person who leads a party member chosen to manage party activities in a legislative body. The word friend is linked to frail from Old English, meaning free. The pledges are hostages to their respective houses, made to follow orders, insulted, demeaned, and forced to judge their upperclassmen. This doesn't sound like it would make you a friend, or even less, a leader. Thank you.
All right, the main point was labeled, and then you kind of introduce the three counterclaims that you're going to develop. They're like disadvantages. Disadvantage 1 on cost, disadvantage 2 on time, disadvantage 3 on the power hierarchy. And then you're going to apply those counterclaims to the claims that the advocate presents. So ultimately, it clarifies the organizational structure, although I think the way you kind of preview your arguments instead of signposting what the advocate's points was a little confusing to begin with. The dues argument on the first point is largely asserted. At best, you've got a hypothetical on this. I'm not exactly sure that all of that responds to the advocate's claim on this point. There's not any analysis of the quality of the advocate's evidence or reasoning on this point, and all you've got is your counterclaim, which is reasoned here, and there is no evidence on that point. The time management issue, I think, is a good idea on that point to develop on the second point. But again, there's no data on this. I don't remember what the advocate's information was on this particular point, whether they had any data about grades or effectiveness or success, or even illustrations of people who had managed to be successful. We've mostly got your hypothetical and some personal observation on that point. So I think that the evidence there is a little underwhelming. On the leadership issue, you do have some counter evidence on this particular point, and I thought that you tried to apply that pretty well. The part about the pledges being held hostage, though, I think, again, that's your assertion. I'm sure that that is the case in some of these organizations. I'm not sure that's the case in all of them, and so it's a little bit conclusionary there. All right, thank you.